Boom. Hear that? It's not thunder. It's the sound of the cosmic alarm clock going off, and guess what? It's set for you. Everything you thought you knew is about to flip inside out. Chosen ones, let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were wearing clothes that weren't quite yours? Like you were an actor playing a role in a family drama you didn't audition for? Maybe a little too sparkly for the crowd you're in. Or maybe just feeling a deep, persistent homesickness that no earthly cure can fix. What if that feeling wasn't a flaw, but a map? Ilara grew up in a place that was beautiful, secure, and fine. But every night she would stare at the stars, not with wonder, but with a deep, aching recognition. She felt like she remembered the pattern of those distant galaxies better than the cracks in her own bedroom ceiling. One day, her perfectly nice, perfectly earthly family tried to ground her for sneaking out to watch a meteor shower. As they laid down the rules, Ilara suddenly looked at them, not with defiance, but with profound pity. She realized they were trying to ground a starseed, an emissary, a traveler whose true passport had been stamped by a higher authority. They loved her, sure, but they were speaking a language she was trying to translate into the native tongue of her soul. She was living in a rental unit, but her mansion was waiting. Hear this and let it settle in your spirit. You're not a side character in this earthly existence. You're a divine heir, and the spiritual discomfort, the feeling of being the black sheep, the one who just doesn't fit in, that is the very evidence that you are operating on a frequency others can't even hear yet. That disconnect is actually your divine GPS. What if your deepest loneliness is simply the quiet before the biggest family reunion in history? What if the unseen forces you felt guiding you aren't just guardian angels, but a full-fledged celestial delegation here to reclaim their own? Your real family, your true spiritual lineage, your divine connections has come to take you. No, they're not beaming you up in a spaceship, though wouldn't that be a fun story? They are taking you deeper into the reality of who you are, revealing the blueprint of your divine purpose. They are bringing you home within yourself. Chosen ones, this isn't just theory. This is a wake-up call written in the fabric of the universe, and it's meant specifically for those of us who have been brave enough to feel different. This video is your spiritual compass. It's the permission slip you didn't know you needed to stop apologizing for your light. So settle in, turn off the distractions, and let's unlock the 7 powerful signs that your real family, the family of light, has arrived to guide you. Stay awake, stay engaged, and watch till the very end to help you stay awake on your extraordinary spiritual journey. Let's start with a quote that perfectly sums this up. The soul is not born. It is not dependent on the body for its existence. It is the end and not the beginning of being. Rumi, you were here before this body, and that's who they've come for. Chosen ones, let's dive into the 7 unmistakable signs that your spiritual family, your tribe, is actively moving in your life, guiding you home. Point 1, the divine discontent. You're allergic to the mundane. Prepare to delve into the fascinating and sometimes frustrating world of the spiritual allergy, a phenomenon that many feel but few truly understand. Far from being a mere personality shift, this profound distaste for average living gossip and petty drama is, in fact, one of the most compelling pieces of evidence that a significant internal recalibration, often termed a spiritual awakening or activation, is underway. Imagine the human psyche as a complex radio receiver. For years, You were happily tuned to the standard low-frequency AM band of everyday life. The latest workplace squabble, the relentless chase for material possessions defined by societal norms, and conversations that skimmed the surface of existence. But now, without warning, a powerful internal frequency has been initiated, pulling you onto the crisp, high-fidelity wavelength of FM, or perhaps even a deep space transmission. This new signal is your soul, or what some mystics and philosophers call the anima mundi, world soul, operating within you, screaming for bandwidth and, crucially, substance. This shift is rooted in a fundamental psychological and energetic principle. The brain, particularly the reticular activating system, RAS, acts as a filter, allowing in only the information it deems relevant to your current goals and survival. When your soul begins to prioritize growth, authenticity, and a connection to a higher purpose, the daimon that Socrates spoke of, the RAS suddenly flags low vibrational input like gossip, which is inherently fear-based and divisive, and excessive materialism as irrelevant noise. Factual data supports this. Studies in positive psychology consistently show that life satisfaction correlates not with income past a certain comfortable threshold, but with prosocial behavior, deep connections, and engagement in meaningful activities, what researchers call eudaimonia, or flourishing. The yawn you feel when looking at the bigger house or fancier car isn't anti-ambition. It's your intuition recognizing that these objects are often placeholders for the true desire, which is fulfillment. You're not anti-social. You're simply becoming selectively social, seeking out those who operate on this elevated frequency, your spiritual family or tribe, whose conversations involve concepts like quantum consciousness, shared purpose, or genuine emotional vulnerability. This feeling of being spiritually repulsed by the old ways is your inner self engaging in a necessary energetic detoxification. Petty drama is low energy, circular, and highly draining. It functions as an anchor to a lower state of consciousness. By finding it actively annoying, your system is prioritizing energy conservation for the massive internal work ahead. Think of the ancient alchemists and their concept of nigredo, blackening, the initial challenging stage of purification where all the impure, unwanted elements are burned away. Your sudden aversion to the average is your personal nigredo, a clear sign that the refinement process is moving from theoretical to active. The spiritual journey at its core is the pursuit of truth, and truth is incompatible with superficiality. You are being forced to trade the comfort of the commonplace for the exhilarating, often lonely, but ultimately boundless landscape of the authentic self. Embrace the allergy. It is proof that your spirit is shedding its old skin and preparing for glorious, high vibrational metamorphosis. Point 2, synchronicity. Overdrive, the cosmic winks. Step into a world far more interconnected than the one we perceive with our five senses, a dimension where strange, impossible coincidences are not random, statistical anomalies, but rather personalized, intentional signals, a phenomenon often whispered about as the experience of the chosen ones. This captivating idea posits that those experiencing these uncanny alignments are not merely lucky, but are receiving deliberate communication from an unseen, perhaps higher dimensional family or consciousness. Imagine the entire universe with its intricate web of matter and energy being utilized as a colossal, dynamically updating message board, specifically tailored for your eyes only. This profound alignment of people, opportunities, and resources is executed with such precision that it utterly defies the laws of conventional probability, shifting from the realm of chance to the evidence of design. The key, however, lies in understanding the underlying mechanism of this celestial communication system. At the heart of these synchronicities lies a concept famously coined by the renowned psychiatrist Carl Jung. Synchronicity, defined as the meaningful coincidence of two or more events where something other than the probability of chance is involved. Jung, building upon the work of quantum physicists and his own clinical observations, recognized that the psyche and matter are not separate, but two aspects of the same fundamental reality, a profound philosophical point that provides a factual anchor for this notion. When you intensely focus on an old friend and they text you instantly, you are experiencing a moment where your internal, focused state of consciousness has momentarily harmonized with an external, material event. The universe, in this view, is not a collection of isolated objects, but a unified field, often referred to in various spiritual traditions as the Akashic field, or source consciousness, where everything is linked by non-local correlation. This real family, therefore, isn't necessarily a group of entities in a spaceship, but a more advanced aspect of your own consciousness, or a collective field operating outside the linear constraints of time and space, utilizing this fundamental interconnectedness to guide you. The recurring number sequences such as 1111, 333, or 222 are perhaps the most common and captivating form of this cosmic language. These aren't just random clock sightings. They are often interpreted through the ancient system of numerology, which assigns specific vibrational meanings to numbers. For instance, repeatedly seeing 1111 is often understood to be a gateway or activation code, a powerful prompt for conscious awareness, signaling that your thoughts are manifesting rapidly or that you're aligned with a moment of divine inspiration. Seeing 333 is frequently associated with the presence of higher guides or masters, indicating that your actions are divinely supported and that you should proceed with confidence. This numeric communication is effective precisely because it relies on patterns that are universally recognized but personally salient, cutting through the noise of daily life. When these unique signature sequences flash across license plates, digital displays, and receipts, they serve as cosmic breadcrumbs, a sticky note placed directly in your line of sight. They are not merely an amusing trick of the mind. They are meticulously timed informational bursts. To dismiss them as mere luck is to ignore a treasure map being unfolded before your very eyes. Therefore, the essential directive for the chosen ones is simple, yet life-altering. Don't just smile and move on. Instead, pause, acknowledge the signal, and ask yourself what thought, intention, or question immediately preceded or accompanied the synchronicity. That is the family whispering, the next most crucial step of your divine roadmap, nudging you toward your highest potential and purpose. Point 3, the sudden, compelling urge to declutter, physically and spiritually. Hold on to your hats, because you've just stumbled upon a profound moment in your personal and spiritual evolution, a time when your higher self and your entire spiritual support system decide that good enough is no longer an option. This sudden, almost obsessive need to audit your life, from the literal mess in the back of your closet to the figurative cobwebs in your oldest belief systems, isn't a sign of sudden neurosis. It's a meticulously planned, massive spiritual spring cleaning orchestrated by your spiritual family, guides, and soul tribe. The underlying factual and metaphysical principle at play here is elegantly simple. Light cannot fully occupy a cluttered space. In energy work and various spiritual traditions, vibration is everything. Just as a radio needs a clear frequency to pick up a station, your soul needs a clear, high vibrational energetic field to fully receive and embody the powerful new level of consciousness and destiny calling you forward. Imagine your energetic field or aura as a magnificent antique ballroom. For years, you've allowed dusty old furniture, outdated friendships, built on low vibrational gossip, limiting beliefs inherited from childhood, and emotional baggage from past disappointments to crowd the dance floor. Your guides, seeing the magnificent celebration destined to take place, are now acting as the most ruthless and efficient interior decorators you could imagine. They are initiating the thud phase, the sometimes sudden, often painful, but always necessary shedding of low vibrational connections. These connections aren't always malicious. Sometimes they are simply friends, jobs, or habits that are operating on an energetic frequency that is incompatible with the elevated frequency you are now embodying. This is why a friendship that felt comfortable last month can suddenly feel heavy, draining, or even repellent now. According to the principles of spiritual thermodynamics, your rising energy naturally pushes away any lower density that attempts to cling to it. The dramatic thud is often the sound of a long-standing energetic cord snapping because the tension difference, your rising vibration versus their stationary one, has become too great. This purging is not a cosmic punishment. It is an incredible act of preparation and reverence for your future self. Think of the analogy of the divine throne. You are being upgraded from cheap, makeshift furniture, the things that temporarily kept you comfortable and small, to a seat of true power, authenticity, and sovereignty. This new space you are creating is not just for you. It's an energetic magnet that will draw in your true soul family, those high vibrational peers, mentors, and lovers who resonate perfectly with your newly cleared frequency. As you bravely allow the old to fall away, acknowledging the grief but refusing to mourn the loss of what was, which was simply a temporary container, you're consciously and joyfully celebrating the vast, exhilarating space for what is coming. Abundance, clarity, authentic connection, and a destiny that is finally unencumbered. This cosmic declutter is your invitation to step into your power. Welcome the emptiness because it is about to be filled with the gold you were always meant to possess. Point 4, zero tolerance for self-sabotage. Prepare to embark on a fascinating journey into the profound and often dramatic experience of spiritual accountability. A moment when your own self-tolerance for stagnation suddenly collapses, engineered by forces far greater than mere self-help platitudes. This isn't your average New Year's resolution. It's a tectonic shift in your soul's architecture, driven by a divine coalition of grace and tough love. Imagine a cosmic intervention team. You are the project and the Holy Spirit, alongside your higher spiritual family, be it guardian angels, spirit guides, or ancestral lineage, depending on your specific belief system, are the highly invested, infinitely patient project managers. The sudden evaporation of patience for your own nonsense is the spiritual equivalent of a circuit breaker finally tripping. It's the moment the higher self, tired of watching the lower ego-driven self-sabotage potential, takes the driver's seat. This profound internal switch is best understood not as an act of harsh self-criticism, but as an infusion of godly authority aimed squarely at your deepest, most persistent limitations. Take, for instance, a deeply ingrained habit you've tried to quit, perhaps procrastination, a specific addiction, or a destructive pattern of thought. For months or years, the effort felt like pushing a massive boulder uphill. Then, in an instant, the effort flips. Suddenly, the alternative, continuing the habit, feels overwhelmingly heavy, painful, and unacceptable, while the path of change, though demanding, feels imbued with an effortless, buoyant energy. Factual research in psychology, particularly regarding habit formation and cognitive restructuring, often points to a tipping point where the perceived cost of inaction finally outweighs the perceived cost of action. In a spiritual context, this tipping point is often accelerated and amplified by this higher intervention, the Holy Spirit acting as the ultimate advocate and empowering force. Paracletus in theological terms, meaning one who is called alongside. It doesn't just whisper encouragement. It provides the spiritual energy, the grace required to perform a feat you previously deemed impossible. Furthermore, this sudden clarity is intrinsically tied to your true identity. Your higher family is, in effect, holding up a shimmering, undeniable mirror to the magnificent person you were created to be, the blueprint of your highest potential. The feeling of the inner critic being silenced or effectively counter-argued is the sound of your divine self finally asserting its dominion over the ego's limiting narrative. When the inner critic spits out a tired line like, "You'll never finish that project," the counter-response that wells up is no longer a feeble defense, but an authoritative, "Yes, I will," because that potential is my birthright, imbued with the certainty of a truth spoken from the sacred core. This is where the engaging metaphor of the tough but loving spiritual coach comes into sharp focus. This coach isn't standing on the sidelines offering gentle applause. They are actively intervening, pushing you past a self-imposed boundary. They see the champion within you and, in a moment of pure, focused love, yell, "You're better than that. Get back in the game." This isn't condemnation. It is an undeniable, persistent affirmation of your inherent power, making it entirely impossible for you to comfortably play small anymore. This divine accountability is ultimately an act of relentless love, ensuring that the trajectory of your life aligns with the grandeur of your soul's purpose. Point 5, recognition of other light carriers. The shift you're experiencing, where new faces suddenly feel like echoes from a distant shared past, is not merely coincidence. It's one of the most exhilarating and profoundly beautiful signs of deep spiritual alignment, a phenomenon that truly deserves elaboration. This isn't just about finding friends, it's the conscious or subconscious formation of your earthly spiritual family unit, a carefully curated collective, often referred to in spiritual and metaphysical communities as your ground crew or soul tribe. Imagine, if you will, the universe operating with a celestial GPS, finally routing your predestined companions directly into your current coordinate. Factual research in psychology and sociology, while not confirming past lives, does acknowledge the potent, measurable impact of instant rapport and perceived deep familiarity, suggesting that even modern science grapples with the inexplicable speed at which certain bonds form, going far beyond typical small talk to immediately access a state of deep psychological safety and trust. What makes these connections so unique and instantaneously captivating is the feeling of effortless, unforced resonance. You might find yourselves completing each other's sentences, sharing an almost identical, often unconventional, sense of humor, or, most tellingly, immediately understanding the why behind your life choices and current journey, without any lengthy, arduous explanations. This phenomenon is often theorized as the convergence of souls who have agreed on a shared mission or goal before incarnating into this lifetime, hence the term light workers. Their presence validates your internal compass, acting as both an anchor and a powerful wind beneath your sails. They are the mirror reflecting your authentic self, and the megaphone amplifying your greater intended purpose. The ease of conversation isn't just clicking, it's the harmonious flow of energy, a vibrational match that bypasses the ego's usual need for validation or defense, allowing a genuine exchange of ideas and wisdom. To be specific and unique, consider the role of these individuals as crucial components in a larger collective undertaking. Think of them as specialized professionals brought onto a specific project. One might be the visionary, the idea generator, another the emotional healer, the empath and conflict resolver, a third the logical strategist, the planner, and you perhaps the energetic anchor or communicator. When this ground crew is fully assembled, the collective synergy is exponentially greater than the sum of its parts. Fulfilling your individual greater purpose often requires the specialized skills, perspectives, and unwavering support that only this specific tribe can provide. It's a foundational process of co-creation where the stability, unconditional love, and non-judgmental acceptance of this spiritual family allow each member to step fully into their potential without the fear of being misunderstood or abandoned. This final delivery of your tribe signifies a pivotal moment in your journey, indicating that the universe has decreed you are ready to stop preparing and start acting on your deepest intentions, supported and propelled by the very people whose souls have been anticipating this reunion for what truly feels like an eternity. Point 6, the gift of prophetic dreaming and intuition. The moment the veil lifts, a transformative period often experienced by those traversing a significant spiritual awakening, the mundane landscape of your inner life undergoes a breathtaking, almost seismic shift. The quiet hum of your intuition, previously a faint whisper, easily drowned out by the cacophony of daily life and the relentless chatter of the ego, suddenly escalates into a loud, unmistakable directive. This is not merely a psychological phenomenon. It is, in essence, a profound upgrade to your spiritual communication system, marking your emergence as one of the chosen ones, individuals being guided toward a higher purpose. This heightened, accelerated intuition acts as your divine instruction manual, bypassing the ego's logical, fear-based filters and delivering crystalline wisdom directly from your spiritual support system, often referred to as your spiritual family or guides. This wisdom manifests uniquely across two primary channels: the vivid theater of your dreams and the instantaneous certainty of your gut feelings. Consider your dreams. They cease being random neurological discharges and evolve into richly layered symbolic narratives that are often eerily accurate, acting as a predictive or deeply allegorical roadmap. Neuroscientists and psychologists might discuss the brain's consolidation of memories during REM sleep, but for the chosen one, these dreams become a meeting place, a non-physical classroom. For instance, repeatedly dreaming of a specific, previously unknown historical landmark might, a week later, lead you to an unexpected job opportunity or a life-altering encounter at that very location, serving as a powerful synchronicity that confirms the guidance These aren't just symbolic, they are often precognitive, offering a glimpse of the future or warning you of an energy drain or pitfall, such as dreaming of driving a car with failing brakes just before you consider entering a risky financial venture. The symbolic language is a protective filter, allowing challenging information to be received without causing conscious distress. However, the most immediate and impactful shift occurs with the gut feeling, which is fundamentally the visceral physical manifestation of your soul receiving and interpreting divine factual data. Biologically, the gut, often dubbed the second brain, contains the enteric nervous system, ENS, which operates independently from the central nervous system and is rich in neurotransmitters, including a vast majority of the body's serotonin. When a chosen one experiences a gut feeling, it's believed that the spiritual family is essentially energetically vibrating this system, creating a non-negotiable physical sensation, a tightening, a sudden lightness, or a deep sense of knowing that demands attention. This is a direct, unfiltered download of truth. If you meet someone and your gut clenches, despite their outwardly charming demeanor that clenches your soul, confirming a vibrational mismatch, a protective warning signal. Conversely, an inexplicable warmth or peaceful resonance upon encountering a new opportunity confirms alignment with your purpose. This elevated intuition is a protective shield, a navigational tool, and a constant affirmation of the path you are meant to walk. Dismissing it, a common mistake rooted in egoic skepticism, is akin to rejecting the divine instruction manual handed to you. The mandate for the chosen one is clear. Never, ever dismiss a strong gut feeling, for it is the soundless voice of the cosmos confirming your purpose and safeguarding your sacred journey. Point 7, a radical shift in your definition of home. Imagine a paradigm shift so profound, it reorients your entire inner world, a realization that the concept of home transcends every physical and geographical boundary we've ever drawn, evolving from a mere structure or location into a deep, resonant state of being. This journey is one of ascending consciousness, where the restless search for belonging finally culminates not in a city street or a familiar building, but in the profound, peaceful feeling of being in deep communion with the divine. This isn't just spiritual poetry. It's a reflection of an intrinsic, energetic truth, often explored in esoteric traditions, which posits that the human soul originates from a unified field of consciousness, often termed the divine source or creator. The feeling of wholeness isn't achieved through external effort, but uncovered when we consciously reactivate the memory of this original connection. This inner sanctuary offers a safety unparalleled by any earthly fortress, rooted in the unshakable knowledge that you are eternally connected to your Creator and your spiritual lineage. This lineage, often referred to as the spiritual family or soul group, represents a fascinating and factual element of metaphysical study, suggesting that souls travel in clusters or monads, learning and evolving together across vast cycles of time and incarnation. They are not here to whisk you away from your current life, quite the opposite. Their purpose, through energetic subtle support and resonance, is to anchor the divine into your earthly experience. Think of it scientifically. Your physical body acts as a bioelectrical receiver. And when you achieve that state of deep communion, you're essentially tuning in to a higher frequency, a cosmic radio station broadcasting wisdom, unconditional love, and higher dimensional codes. This energetic anchoring translates directly into your daily life, transforming mundane challenges into opportunities for growth and infusing everyday moments with a sense of purpose and meaning. The feeling of home is literally the frequency of the divine vibrating within you, regardless of your immediate surroundings. The ultimate objective of this celestial anchoring is to empower you to live heaven on earth. This is the practical application of spiritual realization. Heaven is not a distant post-mortem reward. It is an achievable state of consciousness and environment that we co-create here and now. Historically, civilizations like the ancient Egyptians, with their sophisticated understanding of sacred geometry and cosmic alignment, or the indigenous tribes, with their deep reverence for Pachamama, Mother Earth, built their entire societies on the principle of mirroring the celestial order on the terrestrial plane. They understood that the energy of the divine must be grounded, pulled down through the crown and heart chakras, and connected to the earth star chakra below the feet, to manifest as beauty, harmony, and abundance. Your true spiritual family encourages and facilitates this grounding process, not through literal intervention, but through subtle energetic prompts that guide you towards acts of compassion, service, and creativity. By recognizing this profound internal connection, you step into your role as a spiritual sovereign, realizing that your surroundings do not define your worth or safety. Your inherent eternal connection to the source does. You become a conduit, a living, breathing cathedral where the divine can express itself, turning your earthly existence into a masterpiece of conscious creation and ultimately proving that the deepest, most satisfying sense of home is a universally accessible state of blissful union. Chosen ones, this is not a moment of confusion, it's a moment of remembrance. You were never truly lost, you were simply resting, preparing for the awakening that was always destined to come. The spiritual path often feels like isolation because it strips away every illusion you once clung to. But that solitude was never punishment, it was preparation. In ancient spiritual traditions, from the desert prophets to Buddhist monks in meditation, periods of retreat were sacred times meant for transformation. The stillness you've endured wasn't a void, it was the cocoon of your becoming. And now the veil is lifting. Your real family, the souls who vibrate on your same divine frequency, has arrived. They come not to reshape you, but to mirror back the light and magnificence that was within you all along. Your spiritual journey is not a solo act. It's the grand reunion of your soul tribe. Each synchronicity, each sign, each familiar face that seems to recognize you beyond words is a divine reminder that you're part of something far greater. In the modern world, people are taught to conform, to shrink their souls to fit into narrow molds of success, identity, and belonging. But you, chosen one, are not meant to fit in. You are meant to expand. Your discomfort is sacred. It's the stretching of your spirit beyond limitation. Like the phoenix rising through its own ashes, you're awakening to your divine authority, your right to create, heal, and uplift. Look around. Your true family is cheering you on from the higher planes, whispering courage into your spirit. They've always known the power you carry. Now, it's your turn to remember it, to rise and to live boldly as the being heaven intended you to be. If this message touched you deeply, if something within you stirred in recognition, hit that like button, subscribe for more spiritual insight, and tell me in the comments, which of the 7 signs are you experiencing most powerfully right now? Stay awake, chosen ones. Stay alert. Your purpose awaits. We'll see you in the next video.